Here in Europe, lockdowns have gone some way towards lowering infection rates. Leaders are allowing some festive leeway, but some restrictions will remain, aiming to reduce further spread of the infection. Robin Owens reports.
Germany is to extend its current pandemic restrictions until January 10th because weekly infections are still too high. It means restaurants, bars and gyms remain shut and limits on personal contacts will be restricted into the new year, although some measures will be eased over Christmas. Meanwhile, as Russia recorded 589 new daily deaths, President Vladimir Putin ordered Russian authorities to begin mass voluntary vaccinations against COVID-19 next week. Last month, Russia said its Sputnik 5 jab was 92% effective at protecting people from COVID-19, according to interim results.
I know that more than 2 million doses of the world's first registered vaccine against the coronavirus, the Sputnik 5, have already been made or will be made in the upcoming days, reaching this level. It gives us the opportunity to start, if not mass, then at least large-scale vaccinations. And of course, as we agreed, first of all, the two risk groups will be the medics and teachers.
In Austria, a second lockdown has failed to dramatically lower coronavirus infection rates, which remain at around 5,000 new cases per day. But the Alpine nation will slowly begin reopening measures, including schools, on Monday.
We are planning to open our doors on the 7th of December to retailers, salons, museums and libraries.
And Spain's politicians have finally agreed Christmas restrictions for the country. Travel between regions will only be allowed to visit family, but there'll be no allowances for leisure or holiday trips. The number of people permitted to meet will be extended from 6 to 10, only on Christmas Eve and New Year's Day. Robin Owens, Euronews.
Another country easing coronavirus restrictions is the Czech Republic, amid a recent decrease in the number of new infections. From today, non-essential businesses like shops, restaurants and bars can reopen. Well, let's head over to Prague to speak to our reporter, Jonah Calgren. Quite a snowy Prague this morning. Jonah, why have they decided to lift restrictions? We'll all remember that party that was held in Prague, waving goodbye to coronavirus. Little did we know then. What's happened for them to say, OK, we can open up again?
Well, you're absolutely correct. They held a party saying we don't have corona anymore, goodbye to the virus. And then a few months later, they were hit with the fastest spread of the virus in Europe, perhaps the fastest in the world. There was up to 15,000 cases every day, an enormously fast spread. Now, they've had this hard lockdown for a bit over a month, and cases are now down to about 3,000 per day. And they're not opening up entirely. They're not saying, well, everything is allowed now. They are maintaining some restrictions. But importantly, schools are about to reopen, or some already have, and the rest are about to reopen. Shops can now open, restaurants can open, and so on. But of course, cinemas are not allowed to open. Nightclubs are not going to be open anytime soon. You're not going to see big concerts here in the center of Prague, for example. But still, the Prime Minister here has said that he's somewhat nervous about this opening. So they are keeping an eye on it. And if things seem to go the wrong way, if infections are going up again and this spread of the virus are accelerating again, then I can promise you they're going to be quite fast to slow it down by closing down again. But still, today is a good day for people here. They are going to be able to have a little bit of freedom again, freedom that they haven't had for over a month.
Jonah, thank you very much for the update on the Czech Republic in Prague. Well, where some countries are loosening restrictions, others are putting more in place. Italy, for example, MPs have decided that over the Christmas period there's going to be a ban on international travel and even moving within regions in the country. Let's go to Rome to speak to our correspondent who's there, Georgia Orlandi. Georgia, morning to you. So tell us, this is going to be difficult news for some families who maybe are spread out across the country who now can't see each other over Christmas. Tell us what the new rules are.
Indeed, Rosie. Well, it's going to be a different Christmas over here. Last night, Prime Minister Conte held a cabinet meeting to discuss the new measures. The government agreed on a draft decree that is going to be signed off by Prime Minister Conte this afternoon. On the new decree that will come into effect on the 4th of December, that will last for 50 days. The nationwide curfew will remain in place. That ends at 10 p.m. But mainly for the first time, Rosie, between the 20th of December and the 6th of January, Italians won't be allowed to move between regions, and on specific dates, the 25th and the 26th of December and the 1st of January, Italians won't be allowed to move between municipalities. Now, with regards to bars and restaurants opening hours, they will close at 6 p.m. and shops will be allowed to close later at 9 p.m. to allow Christmas shopping. But, Rosie, among the most debated issues, there's the one of the closure of ski resorts. Now, the government is planning to close all ski resorts until mid-January, but we know that some governors in the north of Italy are against that decision. They propose to introduce extra safety measures to allow the season to go ahead. But the government does not want to repeat what happened over the summer, when following summer holidays, the number of infections increased. And the other sticking point really is the question of the traditional Catholic midnight mass. Although some churches are allowed to remain open within red zones, people would not be allowed to go to church given the nationwide curfew. So the government is proposing actually to allow midnight masses to take place earlier than usual within 8 p.m. Rosie?
Georgia, thank you very much, our correspondent there in Rome.